Heya, and welcome to the Fandom Scoop. I'm your host Alec, and today I will tell you all about the newest Fandom Scoop. And for the audio listeners and for the watchers, I am currently lying under my desk because the audio is best down here and my microphone does not act up. Which does explain for the watchers, but the watchers can see it. And honestly, I know this looks very cursed. It looks very unhinged, but I think it's gonna stay like that. Welcome to the first episode of the Fandom Scoop. I hope you will enjoy. What we're gonna talk about first is the QSMP, the server from Quackity. And we have some news there actually that Nikki, or Niachu, and Rivers GG are now part of it. And I'm generally very excited. I definitely need to catch up on the QSMP, but from what I've seen, it is, and it's generally amazing, and I'm very happy to see Nikki on there. And Rivers GG, I actually don't know yet, but I'm very excited to see both of them in it, so yes. To the second point, we have another season of Only Murders in the Building. And if you don't actually know Only Murders in the Building, it is a true crime show on Disney Plus and now is on its third season. And it's about Mabel, Oliver, and Charles, who all live in the same building in the Orconia. And in the first and second season, there's been a murder in their building. So, and they're all very big fans of true crime podcasts, especially one specific, which they're all listening to. So they think, oh, there's been a murder in our building. We kind of want to solve it. Who's been the murderer? So we're gonna do a podcast. And like the story evolves, it's very funny, and the relationship between the three of them is just so good. Like, I can really recommend it. Now, what is season 3 about? Season 3 is about a play from Oliver, because Oliver is a theater kid and we love Oliver. He's, I think, a 70 or 80-year-old man, but he is my baby girl and I love him. And someone has been murdered during that play. Or you may think, or does. I don't know. You have to watch the third season. And the thing is, they think, oh, the murder didn't happen like in our building. Well, turns out there has been a murder in their building, and Mabel especially tries to solve the murder of Ben, who is played by Paul Rudd, and Oliver and Charles have their own little things to solve, and I'm currently up to date to the news episode, and I must say I really like the season so far. There has been a few things I don't really like because the show doesn't take itself seriously. It never does. It makes fun of itself sometimes. And but this season it's kind of weird because the humor was always very cringy, but I think this season they're like trying to do a very like youthy approach. It's sometimes very, the jokes are funny, but sometimes like it's a weird mix of like please never say that again and like it's funny, or you just don't want to watch like the scene. It's a weird it's a weird mix, but I like the season so far. And I already have a lot of theories on who could be the murderer, but we're gonna see. So, now, as we're talking about a new season of What We Do in the Shadows is there, and I am going to talk a little bit about the new episode, just a tiniest smidge. My non-dermal heart is screaming crying, throwing up, throwing myself onto the ground. I am scared to see what's gonna happen the next episodes, but I'm excited as well. We are definitely seeing a certain pattern with the new Super Hulag, which is called Our Good Shadows. Which our new Super Hulag, Our Good Shadows, is now full of queer people. They're all currently very angsty, which I hope that it's gonna get better soon. Like they all have like one thing in common. It's just like, oh yeah, I want to run away with you. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Or something comes in between, and it's not gonna happen. Overall, it's not gonna happen. And there is heartbreak and devastation. No, but definitely watch the new episode of What We Do in the Shadows. Now, fun little fact, because I found them on Twitter and I'm actually following them for a while now, but I thought it would be like a fun little tidbit like every episode, to remind everyone. Markiplier. Did I just say Markiplier? Markiplier. We love him. We love Mark. He's amazing. The thing is, there is a Twitter account called Days Since Mark Has Been in the Hospital, or short, they're at, if you want to find them on Twitter, is at DSMHBITH. And it's basically counting up the days since Mark has been in the hospital, as says the name. The thing is, for those people who know Markiplier, and follow him on social media, they know that Mark goes a strange amount of time, actually quite often, into the hospital. So the last time when Mark actually got into a hospital, it was just like, my timeline was fun. My tale was such a good time. But yeah, it's been actually 53 days since Mark has been in a hospital. Now, I talked about Super Hulag, and one of the three shows I have to talk about, Supernatural, because there has been a development, especially about Destiel. A Tumblr user posted on Tumblr that the rogue translator, in quotation marks, actually said, and he's not very sure because it has been a long time. The whole thing about dub, they're very strict about what's happening, and they're not letting like such a big thing slip. And he said that he definitely wouldn't have done it like on a whim, like, or he wouldn't have done it like, oh yeah, he should have said that, oh, I'm gonna slip that in. It would have been written in the script, and he would have seen it in front of him as a scene. So please, Jensen, please drop the confession tapes, because we're all not over it. We're very much not over it. But do you know what we're all not over as well? Good Omens Season 2. Like, every time I think about what happened in Good Omens Season 2, I want to cry. I want to literally throw up, cry, throw myself down onto the ground. And so does Twitter. Listen, it's been a whole state of, oh yeah, we want to cry, and oh, we're horny. So there's been two moods for everyone, for the fandom and for the official account, which I will come to that. But first of all, we're not over it. And it has now been a month, nearly a month, since Good Omens dropped. We're all not okay. And today, on Friday, when I'm currently recording this, what dropped as well? The Good Omens 2 soundtrack by David Arnold, who, as well, recorded the Season 1 soundtrack. The songs, like the tracks on it, are so good and like heartbreaking and fun, and like I can definitely recommend listening to it. Like, and I will tell you my favorite tracks from the soundtrack, and I will put those tracks actually into the weekly playlists you will be getting today. You can find that over on the Fandom Scoop radio show on my account. And if you can't find the link, it's all on Twitter or on Instagram. Again, under the Fandom Scoop radio show. So, yes. Now, the thing is, my favorite tracks from the soundtrack is the first one is My Car's Not Yellow. And if you have, like, if you have watched season 2, it's so amazing, like, listening to the tracks and just imagining the scenes like in front of you, because My Car's Not Yellow is the episode where Aziraphale, takes the Bentley, goes to Scotland, and does his best as a journalist. And we are so proud of him. She's doing such an amazing job, and I love Aziraphale so much. In that scene with the Bentley, like, Aziraphale drives under the speed limit. He, has like a little bit of candy. The horn is, honking, not in the Bentley car Crowley way, but like in a very Aziraphale honk Bentley car way. Which, you know, and the soundtrack kind of starts like with that. It has a very soft and like Aziraphale like homish kind of vibe to it, and like when you listen to it, you're immediately like, okay, this this fits perfectly to Aziraphale. Like, if you listen to it, you can directly imagine Aziraphale. And then he starts talking to Crowley, and Crowley is like noticing, oh, you're driving under the speed limit. Like, I can feel that, and you're like, was that a travel suite? And my car does not make those sounds. And like it starts to change while they're like talking back and forth, and it starts to change into the rock version from the Good Omens opening title, and it's such a good transition from like a Aziraphale music to Crowley music, and it's such a good like, because the Bentley, was black first, and then, Aziraphale started to drive it, and it started to go yellow because he likes that color. Definitely not because of Crowley's eyes. No, 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 definitely not. And, you know, Crowley says that, like, my car is not yellow, and it starts to change back. And, like, that whole exchange between them while the music plays is just, it fits so perfectly well. And it is generally my number one track of the whole soundtrack, so it's so good. But talking about transitions, because I think David Arnold did such a great job, like, in the Good Omens Season 2 soundtrack, because the transition from Before the Beginning, which is the first track, and the opening title from Good Omens, which is the second track, is perfectly made. Because Before the Beginning is literally the first scene. It is with Angel Crowley and Aziraphale up in the universe, and again, it has like a very soft and ethereal and very angelic. Like, it shows the beauty of like what Crowley and Aziraphale feel about the universe, but especially Crowley about like the universe he's creating, and like the whole exchange during Aziraphale and Crowley, especially like when Crowley like says, "Oh, you're beautiful," and Aziraphale thinks like she's talking to me, but she's actually talking about the universe she's currently creating, which I definitely think Crowley like thought, you know what, both is beautiful, and it's all very in the soft area and like very wow. But then Aziraphale starts talking about the earth, what the plans are, what God's plans. And it slowly starts to shift when Crowley like talks about, what is the point of all like what is the point of all of this? Like why destroy this universe? Like why put what is her plan? And like what about, like a little box, with, you know, what we think? And like the soundtrack shows it perfectly, like the doubts Crowley gets. The music starts to shift into like it has like a demonic little twist to it, but in like the temptation kind of way. Like, oh, you know, it feels weird to explain it, but it has like a very, oh, this is gonna go bad, which it will because Crowley falls. So it is beautifully made, and the transition before the beginning to the opening title is perfect because it builds up. It starts to build up, and then the opening title of Good Omens plays, and the transition is beautifully made. Now to the next track I really like is He's Smoking. And it is the scene where Crowley is literally smoking. And I don't mean a cigarette, I mean he is literally smoking. And he explodes at some point. Kind of. Not his whole body explodes, but like electricity sparks out of his body, which we love. We love to see it. But why I really like this track is when we see the scene, we can see Crowley being very annoyed and very angry, about what happens, like what Aziraphale wants to do. And Crowley does not like it. They are trying to, you know, keep it down, not to rage, not to let the anger consume them. And it shows in the soundtrack because, like, you can kind of feel like the battle Crowley has inside of her. The I need to calm down. I need to calm down. I need to count to 10 before I do anything stupid. And it builds up and it builds up, and when Crowley then comes to 10, the music just kind of explodes with her, and it's you can just feel like the rage Crowley has inside of her. Now to the last ones. And that is the reason why we all have been crying very much on Twitter. And it is I Forgive You, Don't Bother, and The End. Which, if you have seen the second season, it is the divorce scene. Like everything that happens there. And I nearly cried when I listened to it today, the first time, because the way you can hear the hope both of them have for like the plans that they made, like the hope Aziraphale has that Crowley stays with her in heaven, that Crowley comes with her to heaven, and how how Crowley hopes that Aziraphale stays with them on Earth, and that they're just gonna be an us. How, that they will be on their own side. And then it very much switches to like desperation and like this last hope Crowley has when she kisses Den Aziraphale. Like the desperation they have for, please stay with me, please. Like you are my everything. This is my last straw. I'm going to kiss you. And you can hear it in the track so well, like than heartbreak of like you can hear the heartbreak and how the last hope of Crowley just crumbles. Especially in the Don't Bother, because it's just like the heartbreak is just the crumbling of hope, and the heartbreak is devastating. I generally nearly cried listening to it, and then the track The End after that is just like those are like my favorite tracks from the soundtrack. Like David Arnold's did such an amazing job with the season 2 soundtrack. Like listen to it and it's really amazing. I will put it into my Spotify music playlist for this week. Now, the thing is, I talked about how the fandom reacts right now. And I talked about the angst. But the thing is, especially on Twitter, people have been very horny. Especially like and honestly I'm putting myself into that as well, because if you know me from my Twitter, especially the Good Omens one, the thing is I've been to jail many times by the Good Omens jail account and by my own moods and friends. The thing is I really like jail, so you know what? Put me into jail again. This is a I am talking to my moods. Put me into jail forever. I love it there. So yeah, the fandom is very horny and unhinged. So, but we're not surprised. But the thing is, we're all not very surprised about one specific person being unhinged as well, because we have seen her Twitter and we have seen her Instagram. The one and only Georgia Tennant. We love Georgia in this household. We love her. And she posted a picture of David Tennant, her husband, which the TL was reacting quite funnily to it, and you can imagine the tweets. Because the t-shirt said, showing a David's, longish hair, floofy. But the thing is, the t-shirt said, sit on a happy face. So now you can imagine what the, fandom on Twitter responded to it. So, yeah. But the thing is, we're, like, it's Georgia. We expected that. It's very surprising always, but, like, we expected that. Now, what we didn't expect, the Good Omens official account on Twitter is, like, I generally want to meet that person behind that account, and I want to be friends with them, because they are so unhinged, and the tweets they are posting, they are calling us out. They are reminding us all the time about the divorce, and like I love this account so goddamn much. But what? And the funny thing is, they actually, and I talked about me getting jailed, the official Good Omens account on Twitter actually got jailed for a day. And now they're trying to jail other accounts. And I'm very scared of the Good Omens official account finding me and trying to get me jailed. But honestly, do it. As I said, I love jail. But they are so unhinged. They are so goddamn unhinged. But, sometimes they're actually, kinda chill. Which doesn't happen very often. I'm gonna be real honest here. Even if they post something normal, like the caption of it is so... Everyone is tagging the Good Omens jail account. The thing is, but, sometimes they post something normal, from the content of it. Which, we actually got some new stills on Thursday from Season 2, from the ineffable husbands from Azuracra. And you can see Aziraphale in his angelic white robes from the episode with the iconic build at the shoe height. You know, being a literal angel and, looking to the side and just being a beauty, being herself. I love Aziraphale. She is my wife. Now, the second picture of the still is Crowley. She's in an elevator as well, and she's wearing the leather vest. She's bending the knee, leaning with both hands against the elevator, and I am not going to say what my thoughts are to the picture, because every thought I have are not in the Bible and will never be in there. And you can probably guess. But, talking about stills, there has been some clowning, which we are not surprised if it comes to talking about a certain fandom, which is the Our Flag Means Death fandom. Like, we are the clowns. And honestly, we love it. Now, we have clowned again on Wednesday. There was a little time between the last clowning and, the now clowning. Like, we need some time. We need a break sometimes between the clowning. And honestly, it paid off because we got the first stills for season 2 for Our Flag Means Death. And, if God hates us, why do the gays keep winning? And it's so good. Like, thank you, Vanity Fair. Like, the pictures are so good. Now, for the watchers, you're gonna see the pictures here while I'm talking about them. And for the listeners, it is all on Vanity Fair, but if you want to see the pictures right now, you can hop onto YouTube and I'm gonna show the pictures there. Or if you need a link, it's all down below. Now, first of all, we can see Rhys Story and Taika Waititi in their main roles again as Stede Bonnet and Edward Teach, aka Blackbeard. And I love how season 2 already looks because of how it looks, of how Stede and Ed look. Because he left his whole past life behind. And he starts new. He tries to find Ed. And as we see Stede now, he looks like his pirate self. Like, white pirate shirt, boots to the knee, like everything, like knife in belt, like, and he's like getting dirty, and like his hair is not perfectly made. It's perfect. It fits so much, and I'm really excited to see how Stede is like becoming a pirate in quotation marks. And for Ed, it's like he shaved his beard last season because of like the whole Navy thing. And he started to regrow his beard into like a very thick beard. And we see him in this beard, like still with his leathers. But there's a little change because he's starting to wear a pearl necklace. And I desperately need to know where that pearl necklace comes from. If it's from Stede, I need to know if it's from Stede because I am gay. But we also see him in like a different kind of outfit, in like a kind of like a softer outfit, and beside him is Spanish Jackie, and he looks very fondly at someone, which I very much hope is Stede as well. But like, I really want to see like how the change from like, oh, in one picture he looks very broody, but in the picture then with Spanish Jackie, he looks very soft and like happy, and I'm very excited to see what's happening there. But we not only see Reese and Taika in the main roles again, no. In the pictures, we're seeing Black Pete, Roach, Olawande, Wheat John, and Spanish Jackie. The other cast, which mainly all of them are returning. Listen, I'm Lucius will return. We all know that. We all know that. We're all hoping for it. And from what we see, especially from the crew, they are definitely stranded. They are definitely searching for their crew. They are searching for their ship. And we see one picture of the crew wearing Chinese clothing, and from what we have seen is like, are they in China? Like, what is happening? And I'm very excited to see what happens because from what we know from the Vanity Fair article is that the Navy officers will come back and that there will be Chinese pirates. So how will that all, happen? And I need to know it now. I need to know it now. Now, Vanity Fair also interviewed some of the actors and some of the people who worked on the show. And Garabash says it's going to be unexpected and surprising, but also very pleasurable and satisfying for those who like the show. And Con O'Neill, our Izzy, said it doesn't follow the expected route. And knowing David Jenkins and having seen season one, probably everything I'm thinking about, like, may either happen or it happens in a very different way. Now, I talked about that, the old crew will come back to season two. We have that confirmation. Now, we actually got some new actors who joined the crew, which two of the actors, we got some names. Now, the first one, we actually have a picture for her as well, is our Anne Bonny Mini Driver. And I'm showing this picture currently for the watchers. Again, you can find it on the Vanity Fair article or on my YouTube. And we can see Anne Bonny being very beautiful and gorgeous. Like, I'm so gay. Like, I love Our Flag Means Death Anne Bonny and historical Anne Bonny and fanfiction Anne Bonny. Like, I'm so excited to see what Our Flag does, like, with Anne Bonny and how her character is. So I'm very excited to see. But we also have the mysterious merchant Susan, who is played by Ruibu Kian, which I hope I pronounced right. I tried searching for a name, like how it's pronounced, and I haven't found anything, sadly. So I hope I pronounced it right. And she is a, mysterious merchant, and I'm really excited to see like what her character what will her character do? Like, how will she fit into the story? So I'm really excited to see. But we also have two more characters which we don't know the name yet, but I'm really hoping that one of them will be the counterpart of one Anne Bonny, which I'm really hoping that a certain Mary Reed will appear in season 2 as well, because I need my lesbian pirates. We have Madeline Sami and Anapela Polataivo. So, I really hope I'm pronouncing everything right. If not, you can definitely correct me and tell me how the names are pronounced. Yes. But I'm really excited to see them in the crew and to see what they do. So now, as we finish the two big topics, which were Good Omens and Our Flag Means Death, because, listen, in those two fandoms happened a lot this week. Like, a lot. But I have two little small things left, especially for the Good Omens and the Our Flag fandom. The first convention is for the Our Flag Means Death fandom, which is Our Con Means Death. Our Con Means Death will be from the 15th to the 17th of September, and it will be both online and in person. Our Con Means Death is a non-profit convention for Our Flag Means Death, and it is from fans for fans. They funded everything through Kickstarter, and you could get the ticket over there. Now everything is closed, and you sadly cannot get a ticket anymore from what I've heard and from what I've read. And it generally looks amazing, and I'm really hoping everyone who will attend and will be there in person or online or, will attend the panels or host the panels. I hope you all have so much fun, and when next year the convention is happening, I will definitely try to be there, so yes. Now, the next convention is actually for the Good Omens fandom. I generally only have found it this week on Twitter. It is the Ineffable Con, and actually the fourth one, which will happen now. It is a virtual con as well, and will be on the 20th to the 22nd of October. It is as well a fan-run non-profit Good Omens convention, and the Ineffable Con actually raises money for Alzheimer's Research UK in memory of Sir Terry Pratchett. So, if you can, if you want to attend, if you only have heard about it now, definitely check them out. They are on at the Ineffable Con on Twitter, and the Our Con Means Death convention. You can find them on Good Ship Revenge on Twitter. So, if you want to attend Our Con Means Death next year, definitely look into it. And if you want to attend the Ineffable Con this year, or maybe next year, definitely check them out as well. I will definitely try to get some tickets for the Ineffable Con, so it definitely sounds amazing. Now, that has been the first episode of the Fandom Scoop with me, your host Alec. I really hope you liked it, and I really hope you will like the music playlist I will post, which will probably be up when you listen to it. And if you have any news, like, regarding what's happening in the fandom, and, like, maybe the newest David Tennant picture, like, definitely send me or tag me in it on Instagram, on Twitter, or you can send a comment on YouTube, wherever you like, and I can definitely talk about it. So, yeah, we're gonna see us in the next one. Bye!